All right, good evening, everyone. So this is Brodie from Outperform Fitness, and welcome to tonight's career chat. So tonight we're going to be chatting to Paz. He's just passed his basic training for the Army Reserve, so he's just got it out of there. So we're pretty excited to chat to him, and we're going to go through all sorts of things from his enlistment to basic training and whatever he's up to with his career at the moment. Excited about this one. We've got Paz here waiting. But before we get started, just a quick disclaimer. These career chats, they're presented as a personal experience, okay? This is not on behalf of the Australian Defence Force in any way, all right? So I say again, this is a personal experience and not on the behalf of the ADF in any way. Okay, awesome. Let's bring Paz in here. Paz, welcome to your career chat. How good is it on the other end?
Yeah, it's not bad. Thank you, Brodie. Yeah, it's pretty. It's a pretty different.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Different feeling being on the other end. A few career chats before with with obviously all the other guys taking it through, and now you're the one on the other end of it. So it's a good feeling. So you went through.
It is a good feeling.
Yeah, did the 3-week. Reserve course, which is relatively new for most people now, so it'll be pretty good to see how it's going, because I did have a chat with one of the guys that went through right at the start, and obviously some things have probably changed since then as well. They may have fixed some things, or they may have stuffed up some things. You never know, but yeah, I'm sure they're making it as good as they can for those 3 weeks that you're down there, and train you up and skill you as much as possible. Awesome. So first things first, let's just learn a little bit about you. So let us all know how old you are and where you grew up from,
Okay, I'm 41 years old. I'm from Adelaide, South Australia. I'm a barber by trade and have been for almost 25 years. And I own my own businesses, and thought I wanted to join the Army, something I've wanted to do all my life, but just thought I had other businesses, other things I needed to pursue. Now that I've done them, I thought I'd join the Army for a bit of fun.
Awesome. Yeah, just a little bit of fun. Get out there and play Army for a little bit out in the field. So what sparked your idea to, what first sparked your idea, the interest, inspired you to join the Defence Force or the Army?
Well, like I said, I wanted to do it when I left school, but the family wasn't too pleased on it. So I sort of didn't go down that path. Then my family are all hairdressers in my family, and we sort of went the hairdresser way. And then once I got, basically, I'm in my 40s now. Once I got to about going into my 40s, I reckon, I thought, well, I'm my own person now, and I've got my own businesses, and I'm going to do what I want to do. So I thought I would go into the Army because really, who's going to tell me what to do when I'm 40? My mum tries to, but it didn't work this time. But yeah, so it's something I wanted to do for a while, and thought, well, this is the time to do it. And I guess because I love my cars, I love my trucks, I love anything that's got 4 wheels or 2 wheels.
Yeah.
And I love guns as well. It's a bit of fun.
Yeah.
I thought, well, I might get into something like the Army. You keep fit, and I love keeping fit as well. So I thought I'd join the Army, keep fit, get paid to be fit, basically, and get paid to play with toys, machinery.
Yeah, ticking all the boxes for you. So what was it? Right. Was there anything back that really sparked it? Did someone come to your school? Did you see an advert or anything like that? What was the first thing that put it in your head?
I actually saw it on TV. So first thing was a client of mine come back, and he was like, "Hey, Paz, I've just joined the Army." And I was like, "Oh, yeah. What was that like?" He goes, "Oh, it was all right. Kapooka is nothing special, but you can't, if you love it, there's a problem. If you hate it, then that's a good thing, because you're not meant to, you don't go to love it. You don't go to hate it, I was like, okay, cool, whatever. And then switched off from there. And then one day it was just before COVID, and I had lost all this weight, and I saw this advert on TV, and I was like, I looked at my wife and I said, you know what? I'm going to do something really stupid. She goes, what's that? I said, I'm going to join the Army. For it. And I went, all right, cool. And it literally just went from there. Then I was telling a couple of mates about it, and they said, you know what? You would be good as an armored vehicle crew. or anything to do with vehicles because you love your car so much. Like everyone knows how much I love my vehicles, you know. And that's when it just literally hit off from there.
Yeah.
Studying about armored vehicle, CAV, and then obviously driver logistics and just, you know, sussing out what they actually do and what CAV and drivers actually do is actually pretty true.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
Awesome. What made you think of like doing the army outside of some other sort of job, like civvy job that has to do with driving, you know, nice cars around and things like that? What sort of differentiated the army from all the rest?
I guess it was just having like meeting new people. I'm very talkative. I love, or I can be. I love talking to people. I love meeting new people. I love having a lot of people around me. I guess it's all about mateship and also being fit, wearing the uniform, being proud of your country, you know, working for something that for our future, for our kids' future, you know.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, if we don't have what we have in army, then we don't have a future.
Yeah, exactly. Awesome. So it's a pretty long and selective process to get through, as a lot of people are finding out. It's not just to, you know, put your application in and you're in within a month or so. It is a long, it is a long process. So what's one thing that sort of kept you on track? What, like, sticking with it, you know, getting through tough times, setbacks? Did you have anything there that, you know, was your driving force behind it? Like, did you, I don't know, was there something that you really wanted to, was it something that you just really wanted to achieve and it was a massive goal of yours? Or did you just, you know, was there something there that was helping you, you know, come back from setbacks and all that sort of stuff?
I don't know how to explain it more so, but it's like I went through a lot, and I went through a solid 3 years of enlistment, and there was always a problem. There was always an issue. Being my age, they always threw it back on me. Like, not threw it back on me, I was like, you're 40, you know. It's more about, oh, you got this injury, you got this problem, you got that problem. I think what kept me motivated, and it was hard to start with because my wife wasn't so motivating about it. She was like, yeah. Oh, well, you're getting old, sort of thing, you know. It's like, oh, okay, cool, thanks. And then I just, it's something I really wanted. I could see myself, what's the word, like moving forward. It's something I could do moving forward in life, you know. I just wanted it. I wanted it, and I worked for it. I just didn't want. I went through stages where they put me in class 4, medically unfit, and the only way I could get in again, it was to appeal. And appealing was like, they wanted everything. They wanted a cover letter. They wanted all my training sessions, all my what I've been doing to better myself, literally everything. And I went through 3 months of stress because this appeal wasn't an easy task. You know? But I think what motivated me the most was my work, my staff, and my wife. She just got to a point where she could see how much I wanted this.
Yeah.
And I just kept going for it.
That's good. Yeah. And I'm sure a lot of people are going through that sort of same process. And yeah, you know, you're the proof, you know, if you can stick through it. And obviously you got to be right for the job as well. But, you know, sometimes the choice doesn't go to what, like it doesn't go your way with the application process. And sometimes you do have, you know, the opportunity to appeal those things because you've done X, Y, Z, and you're all good for it now. So, definitely get in and present that sort of stuff if you feel like, you've got that shot to go through. So don't hold back. Don't take those setbacks as an absolute until, you know, you are told you cannot join, do not apply anymore. So
that's pretty much what I said. Until the point they say, no, we've hit the line now, there's nothing you can do, nothing we can do to get you in, then I would have given up. But I just couldn't give up. Yeah,
awesome. So how do you feel now that you're on the other end?
I feel good. I feel like I don't never have to call DFR ever again. Actually, today I drove past and I was like, wow, I don't have to go in that building anymore. But no, it's definitely a good feeling knowing that even Kapooka, that's been done now. You know, they basically call you a private. You know what I mean? And you're not a recruit anymore. A recruit is like a first-year apprentice. A private is like a third-year apprentice. You know, so I'm just glad that that's off my chest now. Now, if I quit, let's say for example I quit, I don't have to do DFR ever again. It's just ring and go, I want to come back. Yeah, cool. No, it's done. You don't have to do Kapooka again unless it's over 5 years, I think it is.
Yeah, all depending on how far you get through and stuff. Yeah, awesome. All right, well, let's move on to enlistment side of things. So just walk us through, because I'm sure there's people that are watching this that don't understand the application process just yet. They're probably relatively new to it. So just walk us through what are the steps that you went through, because things are changing very quickly with applications and stuff like that. But what you went through, the steps that you went through to apply and up until you enlisted and signed on the dotted line.
So basically, I applied in 2020, I reckon it was. I rang the number, that 131-109, wherever it is. The guy gave me a link that they send by email. I was at home, did my tests, got killer marks. When I got to my assessment, and you're excited because it's your interview, that's the next step. They go, oh, we're doing the aptitude test again. And I said, oh, why is that? Oh, because you got good marks. We want to make sure that it's your test. I said, yeah, cool, no worries. A year later, I was like, umming and ahhing, do I do this again? I thought, stuff it. I did it again. I waited about a year and a half. Rang them up, said, I want to come in. I don't want to do my test at home. They said, yep, cool. Went there, did my test. It was the easiest test I've ever done. It was easier than the one I did at home. It was really weird. Done it, passed it, all good, go home. Yep. Went home, assessment day, you go in. And then you got to pick 3 job roles. Your 3 job roles are whatever you want to do. Your first one will be your priority job. If they don't have that, they'll give you a second job. If they don't have that, they'll give you a third. So pick them wisely. I picked 3. I picked one that I didn't want, and I'm glad I didn't get it, because if I got it, I wouldn't be happy, right? I didn't really think about what I wanted. I just did it. Did that. Once that was done, and they'll ask you questions about each job role. So you need to know each job role off by heart. Basically, they'll just ask you, like, what's involved, what's it about, just your general questions. What else was there? Then we did a medical. Medical's pretty easy. Just don't take drugs. If you don't take drugs, you'll be fine. You'll get through. It's just like your general wee test and all that stuff. So no blood tests. And don't be overweight, because they're really fond on that. Fitness, you don't need to worry about that just as of yet. And then the other one is your psych test. And your psych test is more about how's your family coping with what you're doing and entering and stuff like that. It's pretty chilled. It's nothing stressful. When it goes, oh, you're going to go see a psych, they're going to tap on your brain. There's none of that. It's all in everyone's head. Yep. So that's my honest opinion. Once I did that, then it was a fitness test. Then your fitness test comes in. But like I said, I went through a big process. I tore my meniscus 1 year, so that set me back a year, 6 months. Then I failed the test. That set me back a year. So overall, and then I've got then I had all this medical other history, and like I said, they knocked me back for one thing and knocked me back for another. Then they got me to appeal. So the whole last year, I wasted I'd say 10 months, because hang on, what are we in? Yeah, last year. So 2023, I did my aptitude test, and then 2024, I got into doing my medical and all that. And then through the whole year up until about September, and when they said, "No, you're all good, you're in," and that was it. Did my fitness test. Fitness test is pretty chilled. Just remember, there's your non-combat role and there's your combat role, and that I was unaware of that. So my original one was I went in as a light cav, and that's combat. So your beep test is 15 push-ups, 45 sit-ups, 7.5 on the beep test. But because my job got changed to driver because the cab was full, I've been training for a combat. When I went and did my fitness test, they said, oh no, yours is different. You only need 8 push-ups, 20 sit-ups. Sorry, 8 push-ups, 20 sit-ups, and 6.1 on the big test. So just when you do go for your roles, make sure you know what your fitness test is, because you don't want to go too above and beyond if you don't need it. But at the same time, you don't want to be too unfit. So for me, it's like I could get 7.5 to 8.1 when I only need 6.1, but that was an achievement for me. So I was happy to hit that. Do you know what I mean? But they tell you that you don't need to go too far. Do you know what I mean? So try to go your minimum, but always obviously keep fit at the same time.
Yep. Yeah, awesome. All right. So, yeah, in regards to physical and the cognitive side of stuff, and also your interview. So, how did you prepare for those sort of things? So, your aptitude test, your interview, and your PFA side of things.
So my aptitude test, I had no idea what an aptitude test was at my age. I had no idea. Someone said to me, "You need an aptitude test." I said, "What is that?" And they said, "Just Google it." So I did. I YouTubed it. If you want help on aptitude, go on YouTube. Type in your aptitude test. There's a POMI guy on there, a couple of POMI guys. They know exactly what they're talking about, and they will help you 100%. That got me on my feet with, especially, I'm good with numbers, but I'm not good with a lot of numbers. Like, I'm not good with most numbers, right? So a lot of it is your number game. It's all about numbers, and the sequence tries to throw you off. So watch YouTube if you don't feel confident with your aptitude test. YouTube will help you along the way. Psych test, I didn't really need anything. I just went there and just hoped for the best. And like I said, the lady just asked me what my family thinks of it. Just try not to tell them too much, because every time you tell them something that little bit of something about your life, they'll expand it, and then it will just get more and more and more and more. Try to keep it as minimal as possible. For example, don't say, "Oh yeah, I went through a divorce 10 years ago," because then they'll be like, "Oh, so how did you go with that divorce? How did it affect you?" And they just carried on. There's no point carrying it on. What was the other question?
And the PFA. Yeah, so the three things.
PFA, I learned that all by myself. Brodie didn't help me do anything. No, I'm joking. So, Brodie was good. I started my program with him in 2021, I reckon it was. And I'm still going with it today. Like I said, we've gone through stage 1, 2, 3. We've gone back to 2. We've gone to 3. We've gone back to 1, because it's just, I find that if I go off track a little bit, and not because of something Brodie's done, it's just I'm going up and down. I find if I go back to the start and work my way up, then I get my strength back again. But that's what helped me a lot. The training that I've done with Brodie has helped me heaps a lot. Like I said, I was very overweight and very unfit. The highest I've ever got in my life in big test is 8.2. I've never got that in my life. Before I started with Brodie, I couldn't get any more than 6.1. So dieting, drinking water, training has helped me a lot.
Awesome. All right, so let's move into basic training. So for those that don't know too much about this and you're just looking at joining, so basic training, it's pretty much just the very first course that you do in the Army. So it's conducted down at Kapooka. So that's about 3 hours west of Canberra, about 5 hours southwest of, or 5.5 hours southwest of Sydney. And it's right next to a place called Wagga Wagga. So the course for reserves now only goes for 3 weeks, and it's pretty much just designed to strip you down and build you back up with the basic military skills and qualities of a soldier. So it has dropped in the time that you're down there now. Even as a reserve, it went from, used to be relatively long. I think it was 5 weeks, then it went to a 4-week, and now it's down to a 3-week course. Just to make it more available for people to get there and actually do it. So the funny thing with you going down, you ran into Jacob. So Jacob is another guy that was on the Battle Ready program with Paz. And what did you end up in the same platoon, in the same section as well?
We're in the same platoon, which was platoon 43, and we're actually in the same section as well. And I remember when Brodie posted up that is anyone going to Kapooka, and this guy was like, "Oh yeah, I'm going this weekend too." And I thought, "Oh yeah, cool, whatever." And then we got there, and I remember seeing the name Finlay, obviously not Jacob.
Yeah.
And I reckon it took me about 4 or 5 days, and I just went up to him and said, "Dude," I said, "did you do your training with Brodie?" And he's like, "Yeah, I did." And literally just went from there. And the best thing is that we became really close. And I actually, so there was a thing where we had to pick a leader, and all of us as a group actually picked Finlay because he was just a different type of guy. Took no shit from nobody, and he is funny because I was always laughing in the hallway, and you're not supposed to, but he was always the one going, "Shut up!" Like he just kept telling me off, but he's funny. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, it's just funny how it hit off, and then literally since then it was like we just became really close, and I just think he's a great guy. I don't know how to
Just
explain it.
Even though you didn't know each other, like a sort of a friendly face, someone that you can sort of relate to down there.
It was like that, yeah. It was actually pretty cool that we both knew someone. We both did the training, even though we had no idea who we were.
Yeah.
But it's funny though, because I remember actually doing a Zoom call when we did like a Sunday. And he was in one of them, right? But he had a beard then and hair, and it's like when you go to Kapooka, you don't have anything. No beard, no hair. Like my moustache had just grown back after 2 weeks, finally. But yeah, it was just funny how a person can change so much through hair and beard.
Yeah.
But actually meeting him and actually getting to know him was pretty chill.
Yeah. Yeah. It's awesome. And funny, like just on that with going, and that was what I was talking about when I explained about stripping people down and just building you back up. So the very first thing you do when you get there, everyone's got to shave, and you shave your heads. They're still shaving your heads there?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, still shaving your heads.
And they said number 2, but they went number 1.
Yeah. But it's just such a crazy thing when all of that's taken away from you. Like what I noticed is people that I probably normally wouldn't make friends with, you're all the same there. And you're all of a sudden making friends with all these people that are completely different upbringing to you. And, you know, they hang out with completely different people to you. But when you're there, you're the same. Everyone's got a shaved head. Everyone's clean skin, like everything. And yeah, you seem to click with people a lot better there, and make those relationships just because everyone's just stripped down to that bare.
But at the same time, you don't have a choice.
Yeah,
you have to get along with people, even though there's something you don't like. You sort of still have to bite your tongue and get along with it.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's only going to cause problems if you act on that sort of stuff. So can you just describe a typical day down at basic training, and how you found adjusting your routine with all the discipline and everything that was required down there?
Okay, so first day, I've got to remember now. Wow. Sometimes it becomes a blur. You think, hang on, that was only 3 weeks, but it's a blur. First day was we get up, and the first thing they do is obviously make you rip your sheets off your bed. Then they basically, first day they don't do any of that, I'm pretty sure. But what they do is they go through the ironing, they go through the making of your bed, because obviously they want you to get that done every morning, every day. And then that was, we also did marching on the first day, a lot of marching. If we didn't get it right, they would let you know you didn't get it right, even though you had no idea what you were doing. They wanted you to get it right. So I reckon there was one point where we just kept stuffing up. There's a parade ground, and there's a big long driveway just off the parade ground where there's a tank, and we literally just kept going up and down, just trying to work out how to march. Nobody could get it right. Then you got people square gating as well. That was pretty funny. And you think, how can you not march? March is just like walking. You're just lifting your arms up. It's just funny, you know.
Yeah.
But then the next day we did uniform. We got like uniforms given to us, our slouch hats, all your cams and your boots and whatnot. But then I'd say, look, a typical day getting into it is wake up in the morning, they scream out hallway, whatever number you are, at 6 o'clock in the morning, and you get up. You haven't slept because you're in your head. You got this thing going on. What time are they going to wake us up? They're going to wake us up earlier, later. So your mind is just not sleeping because you're worried about what's going to happen, you know. And you wake up. They go, like for us, it was hallway 43. And we're like, hallway, you know, they expect you to wake up and say it. You rip your sheets off your bed. They're over your shoulders. You're in the hallway. Your heart's beating 100 miles an hour because you've just woken up so dramatically. And then they'll say hallway number, and then everyone's got to say their number, right? And what happens is, because no one's watching the person, you got to look ahead of you. Sometimes people say the same number twice, so then they start again. And there were times when you'd say the same person or someone else would say the same number 3 or 4 times to start again. So you just want to get in your day moving, but you're not going anywhere because everyone's, 1, 2, 3, and then 3 people are saying 3, and it's like, and then you sit there going, like, bloody hell, are you serious, man? Just say the number, So finally got through that after about 50 people, because that's how many were in 48 were in our group, and then they literally say to you, now this is like your first proper day. They'll say, all right, you've got 11 minutes to make your beds, clean shaven, and be dressed in PT. So we're like, cool, that's pretty easy. You go there. Takes you like 5 minutes to make one bed. You got 4 beds to go. You're thinking, shit, how am I going to get this done? Lucky for me, I had 2 of us in our room. I made my own bed because if he's watching, I'm going to say this, he was really useless. right? He just didn't do anything. But anyway, I won't get into that. And then I'd help him make his bed. And then I'd say, look, go shave and I'll finish off your bed. And then you come back, I'd go shave, come back. You did it, but you're under amounts of stress. You were sweating constantly. And the weather there was like 35 degrees every day.
Yeah.
Sometimes even 6 o'clock in the morning, it was already 35 degrees. You're marching. There's no running there. No running, no dawdling, no walking. It's everything you do is marching with urgency, right? So it's almost like run down your hallway with your arms out like this at 100 miles an hour going straight down. But they say if you're running, you can't run. It's like, man, I'm trying to go as fast as I can. Go there, you shave. Like I said, everything's got to be off. Then they inspect your shave once everyone is ready. They inspect your uniform. Your socks got to be folded correctly. Your beds are got to be made properly. If it's not made properly, they make you go back again. And they'll say, we'll give you another 2 minutes to fix your beds. And it was just full on. It was literally full on. The morning part was the worst part. So and then every time you go overtime, you owe them time. And then there was one day when we had to give the time back where they would be like, go to your locker, you grab your J-hooks and your water bottle and come stand in the hallway. So you do that. And you got like 30 seconds to do that. So you go do that. Yep. Then we're like, all right, now, next thing we want is 2 pairs of socks, a white sock and 1 boot. I'm just saying an example, right? But I want you to put those J-hooks in that water bottle on the bed. So you go on the bed and then you go do that. And you go, I'll give you like 20 seconds. And then you come back to the hallway. Cool. Everyone's got it. Yep. Okay. And then they'll do something else. But you have to keep putting everything on your bed. Then at the end of it, once you're sweating it out, they'd had enough. They'd go, all right, now I want you to go to your bed, take your bed sheets off the bed, and then come into the hallway. So everyone's gone in, grabbing everything off the bed, putting it on the bench, and they're screaming and going, no, I didn't ask you to take everything off the bed. You got to leave it off the bed. So you got to try and take your sheets off the bed with all that stuff piled on your quilt, right? And then go in the hallway. And it was just like full on. So there were days when you think, man, I'm over this shit, but you look at it now, I look back now and I just laugh and think, man, I can't believe I did that.
I can still remember all that stuff. I can still remember my hallway. I can still remember standing in the hallway. Yeah, everything. It's just burnt into your head.
When they say to you, watch YouTube, watch the Army YouTubes, right? And it tells you how, it's a healthy environment and they can't say drop down and give me 20 and all that. Yeah, they can't do that, but they do go off. They do. It's no relaxed environment.
It makes you stressed.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
Yeah.
I thought I was going to have a heart attack a couple of days.
Test you. Awesome. Correct. So you go through, so you've done all the morning routine side of things. What's left for the rest of the day usually?
So the hardest thing and this is one of the things I'm not complaining about it, but it's like you guys that when you go, you understand where I'm coming from. It's a lot of PowerPoints. There's a lot of PowerPoints involved. If you've got a sleepy brain, you're going to hate it.
I mean, in general.
Yeah, exactly right. But if you've got a sleepy brain, you're going to hate it. They'll say to you, look, we understand if you're tired, stand up, go stand at the back. We don't want you falling asleep in your chair, stuff like that. But you kind of feel rude doing that. So you just deal with it. And then what happens is people fall asleep. It's just not. But yeah, it's a lot of PowerPoints. The first week we did a lot of PowerPoints on signals. And then we did maybe 1 week of signals. And that's obviously learning about radios and stuff like that. Second week, we learned about the EF88 Steyr. That's a lot of PowerPoints again. And then you do an assessment on that. Then the third week, we did this, half of the second week. And then into the third week, we did first aid. We learned how to do CPR, stuff like that. Then do an assessment on that. Then you do another one called TCCC, which is total combat casual, something care. I can't remember now. So many C's. And then they do an assessment on that. That one's pretty cool. Yeah. You go out, you shoot blanks. You're in an environment with 5 of you. 2 people are saving the casualties, and 1 person's doing it's called the MIST, where the 9-liner, where they teach you how to call the radio in, call in the radio, call for a helicopter. You give them your location, and stuff like that. One thing to know is learn your what's it called? The alphabet. I can't think of the word now. The Army alphabet. You got
the alphabet, yeah.
Correct. Learn that. It makes life so much easier there. If you can learn that before you go.
That's a good point. Yeah.
If I got told, I would have done it, but I didn't. I got there, they're like, does anybody know what this is? And we're like, no. But they want you within this, you'll find out about it the first week. Within the second week, they want you to know it because that's when you do your 9-liner.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. So, yeah.
But
yeah, that was pretty much through the day, like I said, a lot of PowerPoints and assessments. And the worst part for us was 35 degrees every day and you're sweating balls constantly. You're marching up hills. You can feel your quads and your calves burning. And then you're going to go sit in a classroom and they expect you to stay awake. Doesn't happen.
Yeah. The good thing is, though, you would have experienced it yourself. Army training works.
Definitely.
It's just, you're going through all the stuff to start with, and you're just like, oh man, just you're struggling and all of that. But when it comes down to it, and I've done thousands of courses with the guys, and when it comes down to it, they could train a monkey using the system that they do, and those all the learning, the theory and stuff plays a role at the start. And then when you do start to get into the practical, you're like, oh yeah, that's right. Even though I was half asleep for that, I do remember bits and pieces.
Right.
And then broken down into stages and everything. It just works. It really does. Yeah. Awesome. All right. So you go through, you've done PowerPoints and all that sort of stuff. So what's a typical end of work day for you? Like what time you're packing up and getting ready for bed?
So everyone by 8 o'clock, by 9 o'clock. So by 8:30, everyone's back in the lines. They call it the lines. And then by 9 o'clock, everyone's showering. And obviously women shower one, men shower the other.
Yeah.
The first week, everyone's scared to shower. It's really funny. Right? Everyone's like covering themselves up, shut the door, whatever. But then when you start to realize that time's getting shorter and you don't have time for that, it gets like the second week, and you go, you know what? We're all blokes, stuff it. Do it. You just do what you do, but you still get the odd one here and there that's still a bit scared. But and then once everyone's showered and dressed basically in your PJs, they'll get you to go to your rooms. They'll wait a little bit, and then they'll call out hallway, whatever number you are. Go out in the hallway, and then they'll say bra strips. So there's a thing in the middle of the hallway called bra strips, where it's like a meeting sort of thing. So when it's you're not allowed to step on the bra strip, whether it's in the foyer or the hallway. No one is allowed to step on bra strips. If you do, you can potentially get a TPI or you get blasted at. TPI is like a formal written warning. You don't want them, trust me. They mean nothing. All it is a Kapooka thing, but it's quite scary when you do get one. You feel like you've just been told off by the teacher and you're 40 years old going, what am I doing in this place, So you go to the bra strips, and then they'll ask you to say the contract. Did you ever have the contract, Brodie?
No, I've never had that.
So the Army contract is, if you Google it on Safari or wherever, it's basically I'm not going to sing it, but it's telling them what you are. I'm an Australian soldier who's an expert in close combat and so on and so on. It just keeps going, right? You've got to know that off by heart, and you've got to know the Australian anthem off by heart. And I wish Jacob was here because he is in the band for Army band, and he's a wicked singer. He can sing well, and he can whistle well too. So, but every time we did the Army contract, they would actually get him, not every time, most times, they'd get him to start it, sing it in by himself, and then we'd all follow. So it's pretty fun when you're all together, singing it together. Some boys just mime it because they don't know it. But it's pretty funny because their lips are moving, but nothing's coming out. And that's about it. And then once that's done, they say, lights out 40, 43, 46, and you go to bed.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
And you can't leave. Once you're in bed, that's it. The only time you can leave is if you go to the toilet.
Yeah.
But if you leave to go to another room or you're talking, you just get told off for it. Yeah. It's like being in high school.
So lights out around about
10 o'clock on the dot.
Yep. And what time do you get woken up around about most days?
6 o'clock on the dot. Sometimes 5 to 6.
Yeah.
Generally, everyone wakes up before 6.
Yeah.
And what they do is, right, so here's a bit of advice. Someone told me, when you make your bed, they tuck it all in. It's all nice and neat. In the morning, especially if you're a top sleeper, right, which a lot of people are, and it's so hot, you got to get up and you can't pull your sheets off because they're so tucked in. Now, when they're screaming out hallway, whatever number, you've got 3, 4, 5 seconds to get your sheets out. So what everyone said was prepare your sheets at night, take them out from under the mattress. So when they call, you just rip them out and you're there.
Yeah.
Because don't be the last one. Never be the last one. and be the grey man. Don't be the colourful one. Be the man they don't know who you are.
Yeah. Awesome. All right. Well, just looking back at your basic training little journey that you went through, is there any sort of particular moment that you're pretty proud of? And yeah, explain why it sort of stands out. Like, is there any moments that we're just like, shit, yeah, I got that done, or I didn't think I was able to do that and I did it. Yeah, anything like that stands out?
Let's put it this way. I love guns, and I used to go shooting a lot for kangaroos, right? When I got to the weapon, I shit myself. It was really weird. I don't know why, but I literally shit myself. But when I got it done, the start of it, I was freaking out. I thought I was going to have a nervous breakdown. When I did it, it's the best feeling in the world.
Yeah.
Right? It just, when you pass an assessment, it just gives you the best relief, and you just go, oh my gosh, I've done it. Do you know what I mean? Like, yes, I did it. Not just the guns, I think anything really. Anything we passed at the end of it, the lead up to it is really stressful, but then after it's like, you know what? It is a proud moment. You just feel, yeah, I've done it. I don't have to do it anymore. Do you know what I mean? I think overall, the Friday, my last day, I literally remember sitting on we weren't allowed to sit on the bed. You can't sit on your beds there. You can't even lay down if you wanted to. I remember sitting on my chair, and I was just thinking to myself, wow, I've done this. You know, that was my biggest proud moment. The fact that I've done it and I passed it, and to be honest with you, 3 times I was going to quit.
Yeah.
I thought to myself, what am I doing here? I'm 40 years old. What am I doing here? Am I too old for this shit? Because there's times when they just can't cope. You know, and I remember sitting down and thinking to myself, man, I've done this. Like, that is a proud moment for me.
Yeah.
It's only 3 weeks. Just do it.
Yeah.
You're going to hate it. You're not meant to love it. You're meant to hate it. But just deal with it.
Yeah.
And don't look at age, because there I made a comment about age because my roommate was 18 years old and I'm 40, and we clashed a lot, and I got told off for talking about age.
Yeah.
So there's everyone's the same level there. There's no such thing as age. You're all the same level.
Yeah.
But for me, my proudest moment was actually getting it done.
Yeah. Awesome. That's good. And so you said you just touched on that you felt like giving up for like at least 3 times. What was it that kept you there? Why didn't you?
Not my roommate. Definitely not my roommate. So one of my mates from Adelaide, he was in the room right across from me, and he motivated me a lot. Just he's the one that picked me up and just said to me, "Let's do it. Let's just do this." You know, it's only 3 weeks. And then I guess having photos of my family in my room. We weren't allowed to have photos. Full-timers are allowed, part-timers are not. But I had them in there. It was an exception that I had asked for, and they allowed me to have it. And yeah, every night I'd go to bed and just look at those photos of my family. I just wanted to make them proud.
Yeah, sweet. So that was your big driver, is that? And
correct.
And obviously, yeah, having your mates there to remind you of that is definitely.
And mate, look, mateship is the biggest thing in that place, right? Everyone, you don't know anybody when you get there, but by the first 3 days, everybody's your mate, and everybody motivates you, and that's what it's all about.
Well, that was leading into my next question. So, you know, down at basic training, it's as much about teamwork as it is individual achievements. Like, yeah, it's probably more about the teamwork rather than individual. So, do you have, outside of your mate obviously keeping you there, do you have any sort of other experiences that you can share that shows that teamwork, you know, played a crucial role to overcome something, an obstacle or something like that?
I do. So I'm not academically smart. I'm very practical smart, right? And I found when I got to like CPR, a lot of it's theory work. So they hammer you constantly, and they expect you to remember it within the day, right? And I remember when we did CPR. I don't remember how to do it now. I do know how, but I don't remember the steps. But they teach you how to put like a tourniquet on. They teach you how to fix a wound on the chest, stuff like that. You got to know all your steps. And I had these 2 guys from Adelaide, which were in my group, and they weren't allowed to tell me too much because you got to remember yourself. But they didn't tell me too much, but they motivated me. They pushed me. They just guided me. They didn't tell me what the next step is, but they guided me. Hey, like there's this thing called doctors ABC, right? Yeah. And basically what it means is you got danger, you got to check for danger, then you got to
airway.
is it airway? Is it? No, it's R.
The response first.
Yeah, response. Yeah, and you got to remember that. And then literally they just kept saying to me, doctors A, B, C, right?
Yeah.
And that was just making me remember, oh, hang on. So Dr. D, you got DRS, and then you got airway, and then so on and so on, right? Breathing. Yeah. So that helped me a lot. So yeah, these two guys from they were also from Adelaide as well. Like I said, they motivated me and they helped me get through it a lot. And then to top it off, the guy that's actually testing us, I just made a comment and said, "Oh, where did you get your haircut, man?" I said, "Looks really good." There's the old, wait for it though. And then he goes, "Oh, I get it done in a haircut barbershop in Wagga." And I said, "Oh, they got good barbers here." And he's like, "Oh, yeah, some of them." I said, "Oh, because I'm a barber from Adelaide." And he goes, "Oh, whereabouts?" And I said, "Oh, I own Blazer Barber." And he goes, "I'm from Adelaide. My mate used to work for you." And I was like, "What?"
Jesus.
Right? He's like, and he was telling me, and I thought, "Oh, how funny is that?" And then he's just literally just looks and goes, tick, 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 tick. I went, "Oh."
All good.
I was happy with that.
Yeah.
But no, I think that, like I said, the two guys that I had, they just helped me along the way. You can get someone that is, at the end of the day, if I didn't have them two and I had Jacob, for example, he would have done the same. It's not like, oh, because they're from Adelaide, they're going to help you. It doesn't matter where you're from. Everybody helps each other.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
That's what it's about.
Big part of it. Huge.
Definitely.
Good. So just onto the fitness side of things, I did have a bit of a talk to Jacob earlier on today, and he was saying he's got a fair bit of PT towards the end, so it was pretty much every day. And one of the things he wanted to mention was the fact that when you were going to do it, it was very similar to what you were doing with me in the program.
Yeah, there was a lot of it that we, obviously you've been in the army before, so you know what they're expecting, and you use that on your own program. But yeah, a lot of the stuff we did there, we just knew what we were doing, which was made it so much easier. Do you know?
Good. Yeah. 17 years experience will definitely do that for you. And I was designing all the programs when I was in as well, so I know what you need to do because I was designing it for you. I was designing it for the guys. So awesome. And just run us through PT side of things. What did you? Because I heard you were doing it pretty much daily, which is a pretty uncommon thing for reserves down there.
Who told you that?
Jacob, he said towards the end, we're doing.
You know why? Because we started complaining. So the first 2 weeks, honestly, we probably got about maybe all up, maybe 4 sessions. Didn't get much at all. And then we
how it is.
We started complaining. I think we complained more about the end when you do this thing at the end where they talk about, like, you do a survey, right? And then this girl comes in and she starts talking to you about why did you say that you didn't like this and why didn't you say you didn't like that, right? So a lot of it was like we complained about PT. There wasn't much involved to start with, and the sessions were very short. So the first 2 weeks, I think we didn't do much at all, but then towards the second half of the second week and the last week, we actually did a lot more.
Yeah.
I think, but a lot of it was combat PT.
Yeah. I
think that's what they're more focused on. So it wasn't actually PT. It was more about combat. Do you know what I mean? But the combat PT was like, it was one to stress you out and one to make you sweat like crazy.
And learn too. So the lift and carries and all that sort of stuff.
And that's what it is. Yeah. Exactly. I didn't have to do any of that because, like I said, towards the end of my training, I tore my ligaments in my stomach, my abs, and my back, so I wasn't able to do any of that, which kind of didn't phase me because I was sort of over it, wanted to go home. Yeah. But at the same time, I would have loved to have done that, having all my gear on, my battle bra with my magazines, my belt, my weapon, and it's almost like doing a burpee, drop it down, and then you got to stand up, run to the next one. So I kind of did miss out on that. At the time, like I would do it when I'm healed, but it was 40-degree weather that day, and I kind of looked at them, looking at everyone, going, "I'm not doing that."
Yeah, I'm glad I'm not doing that.
Yeah. All
right, awesome. So that's a good overview of basic training. Anything else you want to add with basic training at all?
No, look, just don't go there with the mindset you want to get in, get out. Just literally, just go there, just do it. Just be happy, make friends. Like I said, be the grey man. And they talk a lot about, volunteering. Try and volunteer as much as you can because they look at stuff like that.
Yeah.
Lock your lockers because I'll give you a TPI if you don't. Never leave your weapon a meter away from you ever. So if, for example, they'll tell you don't put your weapon on the desk and go to the toilet. You'll get a TPI.
Yeah.
Right? A few guys, one guy then got 4 TPIs. They tell you it goes back to your home unit, but it doesn't. It's all bullshit.
It's so easy to do, though. It's so 100%. Easy to leave your weapon. I still remember being at Kapooka, and I went to the toilet. I was at the urinal, and the corporal's next to me, and I'm doing a piss. We're chatting away. We're just having a chat, and I'm like, yeah. We walk off, and as I walk out of the SALs, he's like, "Hey, Locock, where's your weapon?" And I'm like, "Oh."
Oh, that's funny. Actually, I dug myself a hole one day. I was in the SAL taking a piss, and I looked down at the trough and went, "Fucking hell!" They sit there and say to us, "Clean the fucking toilets," but look how fucking dirty it is. How are you supposed to clean it with all this piss on there? And then the guy literally goes, "Yep." He goes, "You're right." And I went, "That sounded like one of my corporals." I turned my head and went, "Oh shit!" And he goes, "Looks like we're cleaning the SALs tonight." And guess what? We did. So just be careful what you say, because they're all listening.
Yeah, always there.
And don't make friends with the corporals, because they won't. and don't be afraid, because it's just a game.
It's tricky.
It is. It's all a game. That's all it is.
All right. So just looking forward with your career and training and all that sort of stuff. So what does your ongoing, training regime look like? Like, what are you doing at the moment? Are you parading? Are you taking time off? What's the go with you at the moment?
So I'm injured, but I'm not doing any PT. So I'm still parading on Tuesdays because I want to be there. I just don't do PT at the moment until I'm 100% healed. Every Tuesdays I parade for 3 hours, whatever it is, 7 to 10. It's not much at the moment. It's more about just they're trying to organise like our DCAT cards. Then we're moving to where at the moment, I don't know if you know where Keswick is in Adelaide. We're moving to another base once we get our DCAT cards, and that's where we actually learn our job role, which is obviously driver. I do a course in 6 weeks, I think it is, for 2 weeks in New South Wales. So I've got a 2-week course there again, and that's basically they'll teach me how to drive a truck. Basically, you do your 3 kilometer reverse with a B double massive narrow driveway. It's really complicated. Some of this stuff they do. Yeah. You think, when are you ever going to do that? Well, if you think about it, if you're ever out in the desert and there's a fire and there's ambush in front of you, where are you going to go? You can't go left, you can't go right, you got to go in reverse. If you've got 2 tanks on the back of your trailer, you're not going to go forward, are you? So, that's why they teach you worst case scenario. So that'll be one of the cool things. But yeah, and then we'll do training on the weekend. So we'll do 1 weekend a month. Where we go away, and you'll learn so in reserves now, you don't do, the only weapon you learn is EF88 at Kapooka. They've taken away the grenades, they've taken away the FN89 minimi, so you do that all at your home unit. So it kind of sucks because you want to get it done there, but they don't do it. And the most rounds you'll get on the EF is maybe 10 or 9. And then when you do your TCCC, they'll give you 60 rounds of blanks. It's weird. They give you more blanks than they do normal ammo. But yeah, that's about it. So most of it you'll do at your home unit when you go home. So yeah, I'm parading every Tuesday night. I'll do my weekends when it comes up, and then my 2-week course.
Awesome.
And then that's it.
Yeah. Beautiful. Yeah, so looking forward with you. So it's pretty much just getting yourself qualified, because you're not qualified like as a driver right now, not qualified to actually.
I'm not even qualified as a private yet. So because of the stuff they've cut out in Kapooka, you're doing your home unit. So that's why they don't do march out parade anymore, because they go, well, you're not qualified, so why march out? Yeah. You do a march out in your home unit, but it's not a march out. It's just, I think it's sign a piece of paper and you're done, sort of thing, right? So I've still got other courses like FN, the 89 minimi, you got to do that. The grenades, you got to do that. There's still a few other bits and pieces you got to do. I think it's called hang on, I can't remember, IETs or something.
Yeah, that's your driver course.
Yeah, so all of that. Once that's done, then they'll classify you as a private, but they're calling you a private now instead of a recruit because you're done Kapooka.
Yeah, so there's private and there's private P. So the P is proficient. That's once you get all your stuff done. Yeah.
Well, it's called private R, which is private recruit.
Yeah.
That's what they're classifying us as still.
Yeah. Yeah, well, because things are completely different to when I went through. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Awesome. All right. Well, let's get into some of these questions that people have posted in, put up. So I'll just have a look at the ones that were put up early to start with. Okay, the first one from David. Can you tell us what an average day looks like? So we went over that. That was pretty good. He had a second question. What does a PT? What does a PT
PTI
look like?
Oh,
and
PT.
is it daily? So we pretty much went over that as well. Pretty good. So yeah, with your PT, it was so you're saying it was a majority combat stuff. So
that was towards the end because your combat. Once you get all your bra, your battle bra, your magazines, and your weapon, then your combat PT will be done at the end.
Yeah.
But we did for example, we did swimming. We got in the pool.
Okay.
I reckon that lasted 30 minutes, and all they do is they get you to dive in. Sorry, you slide your bum in, and then you got to learn how to jump up and twist. So that's that one. That was easy. Another one was like swim from one end to the other end, and the other one was like dive in with your arms out and your legs spread, and then you got to flap like a bird, and then hold yourself above water, and that's it. That's all we did. We didn't. We're in our bathers. We weren't even in our cams.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's like pretty much just basic, what do you call it? Like the bronze medallion type stuff you do at school and things like that.
Exactly.
So did you just do a diagnostic BFA while you're there, or is that left out as well?
No BFAs, nothing at all.
Yeah. Yeah, because have you done a diagnostic one while you're back at unit yet?
I've only been twice. I've only been in my third week.
Yeah.
But I won't be doing anything because I'm injured until I'm 100%. So that's what I've got to find out. What is the go? Because they're talking about how no one talks about BFA while you're in Kapooka at all. And no one's mentioned it here in our home unit at all. So I'm curious to know if that is still a thing for reservists.
100%. Yeah, still definitely a thing.
Yeah, right.
I haven't heard anything outside of that. It's just it's a yearly thing. And the way that you go through now, you're still not qualified. So once you're qualified, you have to pass that. It's a part of your, unless it's changed, if someone's watching this and things have changed, but I very much doubt it has. It's a part of your ARN, so your readiness. It's a part of your pretty much your job description. You have to pass a physical, you have to pass a medical, you have to pass your shoot, and you have to pass your dental. If any of those elapse, you're no longer deployable. You can't be deployed. So for reserves, it's every 12 months. For full-time Army, that is, it's every 6 months. Pass marks are exactly the same for reserve and full-time. The only differences with pass marks are between female and male, and also they increment as your age as well.
You're right. There you go.
Yeah, so you'll definitely have to pass one. Hopefully, I'm not wrong with that, but
I'll find out tomorrow. I'm curious to know.
Yeah, you get in there and let me know if it's changed, but I couldn't imagine it has. Awesome. So we got one here from Melissa, and it's, what did you find the most challenging, and what is the best advice you'd give someone after completing your training? So most challenging thing down there.
Probably the first aid.
Yeah.
I found that was full on. That was a day. There were 12-hour days outside in the heat, and they're pumping so much information into your brain constantly for 5 days straight. Yeah. And I reckon we got 1 day of a break, and you kind of went, oh gosh, I need that break. I can't take any more first aid information in because my brain is just so full, So we had that 1 day off, and then we went back to it, and we're like, oh my gosh, can't believe doing this again. But once it's done, it was like I said, it's rewarding. It's the best feeling in the world. You know what I mean? But then like TCCC is part of that. Mm-hmm. Then once you get to that is like you go, wow, I've just done all of this, and the best of it all was TCCC. Yeah, you actually go out, shoot blanks, save lives, and it feels like a real deal.
Yeah, in a practical field sort of
correct
scenario.
Like I said, they take you through the video, and you go, oh, that looks cool. You get out there and you start getting nervous, but then as soon as you actually do it and you're firing blanks, but you're not shooting nothing, and you hear all these noises going off, you think, wow, this is cool, Yeah. And you go, I could do this every day, but in real life, you probably wouldn't think like that, But yeah, that was the most rewarding part for me. And then the challenging was actual first aid.
Yeah.
That was very challenging for me.
Yeah.
They say they teach you basic first aid,
Yeah.
but it's basic with 100 pages like in your head, 100 pages of notes that you got to remember, and you think, wow.
It's basic for the Defence Force, and there's a good reason for
Correct.
it.
Correct. You need it. You do need it.
And it definitely makes the civilian first aid course a piece of piss when you get into it. I can tell you that.
I've done that before, and I was like, did have my eyes closed. I actually thought that's what it was going to be, exactly like that, and it was total opposite. Because they say basic first aid. We're going to pitch the basic first aid. It's like you do it, and you go, man, if that's basic, then what's full on?
The advanced one, I was the opposite. So I'd done army the whole time, and then when I went across and did the civilian first aid, I was just like, "Is that it?
Yeah,
Is that all we're doing?"
Exactly right.
It's awesome. So best advice that you could give someone after now that you've completed your training. Any sort of hot tips for young players?
Like I said, be the grey man.
Yep.
Don't be noticed.
I think that phonetic alphabet is a really good.
That. What's another one? Oh shit! I had it in my head. Oh, know your contract. Know your alphabet. Know your contract. Know your Australian anthem, and just listen. Listen to everything they do. My problem was my brain doesn't register what's going on. So you'll be talking to me, and I'll be looking over there and forget everything you say. And that you can't do that in a place like that. Yeah. You can do it at work here when someone's listening to you, talking to you at work, but in a place like that, you need to be on the ball 24/7. The minute you wake up, they say, go to bed at night, 10 o'clock, wake up at 6 o'clock. You need those 8 hours sleep. If you don't have those 8 hours sleep, you're not going to be 100% focused. And if you're not focused, they know it.
Yeah. And
lock your locker and don't leave your weapon behind. Like I said, I go to TPI the first 2 days I was there, and I'm one for I hate getting in trouble. And for me as a boss myself, I don't get in trouble. I do try, whatever. And when I got that TPI, it pissed me off so much. Yeah. It was like the simplest thing. I didn't lock my locker, and it just ruined my whole day. Yeah. And then when I got another one, right, for something else, I can't remember what it was, it ruined my whole day again. So some of that can ruin your day to the point where I wanted to go home. So try to do what you can to get away from that.
Yep. Yeah, because you're already fully stressed out, and then those things pop up. You're just like, God damn it, I'm such a shit fight. And
pretty much.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
All right. A couple more questions here. So we've got one from Josephine. It's a 3-week course, mainly lectures, first aid, and small amount of weapon training. I think we pretty much covered that one. So we covered everything that sort of goes on in it. Niveth, hopefully I got that right. What are the pass marks for the assessments? If somehow I messed up the first attempt, will there be a second attempt for the assessment? I'm not sure. That might be to do with enlistment.
If it is, but I'll give you, for example, right? So we do theory there, and you do tests. And the corporals will tell you, you can't fail. You're not allowed to fail. Yeah. Unless you completely stuff up, right? So we did signals, and it's like 40 questions, and you got to remember it, right? And our whole section got 39 out of 40. We all got the same question wrong. Corporals, this corporal walks in, and what it is about Zulus and Lima and all that, right? About time changes and stuff, right? Our bombardier we had, actually, he walks in and he calls in a staff meeting in the room, and he goes, "You all failed." And we're like, "What do you mean we all failed? You all got the same question wrong, but you failed. We need you to pass." Well, okay, so what do we do? And he goes, "Okay, just cross it out," gives us the answer, and walks off and says, "Do whatever you want." And that's exactly. So if you fail your questions, you're not going to fail. If that's what the question that you're asking is about, it's not like you'll get a question, a test, and you'll get, let's say you get 3 wrong, they'll help you. They want you to pass. Unless you get the whole lot wrong, then you got another problem. Then they'll be like, okay, so you haven't taken any information at all, then you got a problem. Like 2 guys actually didn't pass Kapooka because they couldn't pass their TCCC or their first aid course. Yeah. Right. And obviously, because that's crucial information that you need to know, they didn't pass. But they've passed Kapooka, they just need to do it at their home unit. If they don't pass at their home unit, then who knows what happens from there. But theory tests, like I said, if you got no knowledge at all, they'll fail you. If you get 1 or 2 questions wrong, they'll change answers for you just so you can pass.
Yeah. So like, obviously they're going to assist you through it, and they understand, you've never learned any of that stuff as well. So yeah, don't be too stressed about, you'll be taught everything that you need to know pretty much. That's the bottom line. Now, I think that's that. Hopefully that's what he was asking in regards to that. Because with the aptitude test, what happens if you fail that?
See you later. You don't come back for 6 months.
6 months.
So 6 months, they make you. It used to be a year. Then when they change all the courses around, they went to 6 months.
Yep.
Because they're finding that a year is a long time to wait.
Yeah, it is.
You know what I mean? And you want people. They want people to enter, but you're waiting. People wait a year. So, so now they changed to 6 months. Whether it's changed again, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But the aptitude test, you just need to get the minimum. You just need enough jobs to get you through. Do you know what I mean? Like, as in unlock. When I did my test, I was saying when I did the second time round, when the questions were harder, she said I didn't even get Australian standard. I'm like, wow, that's pretty bad. I didn't even know how that even happened. So they're pretty. They want you to get a good amount. It's just it's more about you have 50 questions. You don't need to answer all 50. If you're smart, then you'll literally go, all you'll hear in your mouse go tick, 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 which means you know every single question off by heart, and that's your mouse clicking all the yes and no's, right? But if you get 25 out of 25, you got 100%. So it's not about getting 50 questions right. It's about getting as many questions right as you can in 15 minutes.
Yeah.
So the second time around, I got 23 out of 25, which basically gave me 90%. That's what they want.
Yeah. Yeah. Sweet. And the different, it's just testing your aptitude. Obviously you can study and everything for it, which would definitely really help. So different jobs require a different aptitude. So technical trades, they require a higher aptitude. Just trades like grunts, you don't need a stupidly high. You can get trained up with a lot of that stuff with a low aptitude test pass mark as well. So it all depends on the job that you're going for, what the actual pass mark is. But even if you don't pass for that job, you still may open up other jobs underneath them as well.
Correct. And that's what they say. They give you a list of all the jobs that you've unlocked, basically.
Yeah. And then you got the top of the mountain, like the pilots and all that sort of stuff. All right, Ben, another one. So would you recommend doing any courses like first aid, navigation before going to Kapooka?
Don't even bother, because it means nothing. Anything you do outside of Army life means nothing when you go to Army. Like, for example, you could have your gun license and know every single gun under the sun. They don't care. They want to teach you from the bottom and work your way up. So navigation, don't even, like, you can tell them, but they'll ignore it. Do you know what I mean? They'll be like, yeah, whatever. Yeah, they'll look at you like, oh, you're a know-it-all sort of thing. That's what they do. One guy was like, yeah, I've got all these guns and I've done this shooting, and they said, so, big deal. Literally, that's what they said. They went, and what do you want me to do about it? Yeah. But I don't have to do the weapons training. Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's, having general knowledge is good and will help you through certain things. But they train you from, like, the training is set up so that it can train someone that has no idea about that thing to be able to get through it. They train for the lowest denominator, which means someone that has absolute zero knowledge on that particular subject, and you can still get through if you take on everything that they teach you with. All right, that's it, Paz. We've gotten through it. So plenty of gold stuff in there. Yeah, really good tips. Sounds like you had an awesome time. Sounds like you went through some setbacks, some struggles, but mate, you made it through. So, throughout your whole enlistment process and everything, it's been a ride. It's been definitely been an extended and difficult journey, but mate, you're on the other end, you're in. Still not fully qualified yet, but you've made it through, and you've got your uniform, you've got your slouch hat and your parade. And so congratulations on that. It's awesome to see you on the other end, especially knowing how much you went through. And yeah, you actually stuck with it and continued on, soldiered on.
I did. Thank you.
Anything else that you want to finish up with? Anything that we would have missed or anything like that? Are you pretty happy with everything that we went over?
Oh, I'm pretty happy with everything. Yeah. Like I said, the only thing I would say is a bit disappointing with what they've done with changing the course to 3 weeks is they've cut out a lot. You know, like I said, they've cut out you only got one weapon you're learning. You don't do a march out anymore. You don't do the bayonet course anymore. You're only doing 10 rounds of shooting in the Astaya. You know, that's the only downfall about it. But, you know, at the end of your session, when you go, you'll do a survey. They'll ask you questions. And what they're trying to do, because what happens is the people that are in Kapooka don't actually make the rules. It's the higher up that don't have nothing to do with Kapooka. They're the ones that change all the rules, right? Everyone in Kapooka want your feedback on why you don't like the course, because then they'll go to higher up and go, this is what everyone is saying. You need to change it back the old way. The 3 course is good, but I would, as much as I wanted to get out of there after 3 weeks, I think it's because I knew there was 3 weeks. But if I knew there was 5 weeks, I would have stuck it out, right? But if I had an extra 2 more weeks in that training, I would have come out a lot better, because at the end of the day, right, it's like this. You do your 3 weeks, the 2 weeks have cut out, you've got to do in your home unit. But it's not going to be done in 2 weeks. It's going to be done in different times. Yeah. So the more we all complain about how we don't want this to be the way it is, they'll change it back the old way.
Yeah, it's all set up for continual improvement's a massive thing when you're given that feedback and stuff, if you legitimately have some good feedback for it. But in regards to like I've seen it time and time again with like all of my stuff with people talking about the 3 weeks, and because I did 45 days when I went down. I started as a reserve, so I did 45 days when I went there. And even me looking at it, there's ups and there's pros and cons for it all. And the big thing that I'm seeing with the 3 week one is it's just making it more available for a lot more people, because some people, especially because it's a second job for a lot of people and they can't get away for that extended period. So I definitely see both ends. Like obviously you're coming out and you're not as qualified and things like that, and it's down to your unit and things and everything. But on the other end as well, it is allowing people that normally wouldn't be able to go through. And I've spoken to people in that sort of situation where now that it is the 3 week course, they can get away and do it. So there's pros and cons to it all, and like you said, chuck it all in the surveys and the feedback and all that sort of stuff, and people will make decisions and make it the best they can.
Yep, that's basically what it was for.
Yeah,
it's because people couldn't take the 5 weeks off work, which is fair enough.
Yeah,
and even for me as a business owner, 3 weeks.
Oh yeah,
3 weeks is just bearable for me.
Yeah.
If I had another 5 weeks, I probably have no business left.
Yeah,
definitely. It's up to my brother. But no, it's definitely, look, like I said, there's nothing really to say. Just be the grey man.
Yep.
And that's it, really. Just
awesome.
Stay out of trouble.
Yeah.
And don't look in their eyes because they don't like that.
Stay out of trouble, which is impossible.
Yeah. But I must say, the mess food is amazing.
Oh, really?
And you're going to say that. Yeah. So I had a client of mine the other day who's ex-army, and he's like, oh, was the mess food shit? And I went, no, the mess food is actually pretty good.
Oh.
They actually have upgraded, and they cater for allergies, gluten-free, halal, everything. The only thing you'll hate is if everyone gets COVID, which some people in our group did, you can't go to the mess. You're in isolation.
Yeah.
And so the food, they get those hot bites, they're fucking shit. I was lucky. I was gluten intolerant, so I didn't have to eat that shit, right? But a lot of it looked like dog food.
Yeah. Yeah.
So try to avoid getting COVID and don't bring it because I don't want it. I don't want it.
Good tip. Awesome. All right, mate. Well, that's it for tonight. Again, thank you very much for doing this. If anyone has been watching this and they're curious about the Battle Ready program that I've got set up to help you guys go through and get ready for basic training and beyond, because I do train you for stuff that's going to actually come up with your actively serving career rather than just the pre-entry side of things. Just feel free to reach out. I'll leave a link in the descriptions of wherever I post this as well. So feel free to click that link or just reach out to me and let me know. And you can follow me on all different channels. I'm on Instagram, I'm on YouTube. We've got the Tactical Fitness Forum, which this is playing live in right now, all over the place. So just search Outperform Fitness. That's the little logo up in the top right next to Paz there. That's the one. And yeah, feel free to reach out if you've got any questions and I'll help you out. Again, Paz, thank you very much, mate. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.